Use the graph of g of x equals the square root of x minus 2 to find g of 1 and g of 6. For which values of x is g of x equal to 0? Then find the domain and range of g. We'll start by finding g of 1 and g of 6. For g of 1, we look at 1 on the x-axis, and we look up and down to see where this graph has a point with x-coordinate equal to 1. And we can see here that there isn't a point on the graph that has an x-coordinate equal to 1. And so what we say here is that g of 1 is undefined. This is because 1 is not in the domain of g, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Next, let's look at g of 6. We find 6 on the x-axis, and we look up and down to see where the graph exists here with an x-coordinate of 6. We can see that there's a point here with an x-coordinate of 6, and it has a y-coordinate of 2. So that means that g of 6 is equal to 2. Next, let's ask for which values of x is g of x equal to 0. Remember, g of x represents y, so we're looking for the points on the graph that have a y-coordinate of 0. If we look at 0 on the y-axis, and we look to the left and the right, we see that there's one point here that has a y-coordinate of 0, and the x value of that is 2, so we can say that g of x equals 0 when x equals 2. Lastly, we'll look at the domain and the range. For the domain, we know that this is the set of possible x values, or input values. So we go to our graph and we project the points on the graph down to the x-axis. We can see here that all of the numbers greater than 2 get projected onto. And also the number 2 does as well, because we have the point 2, 0 on the graph. But none of the points to the left of 2 end up being a part of our domain, because the graph doesn't exist anywhere over here. So then our domain is going to be the set of numbers x, such that x is greater than or equal to 2. Now let's move on to the range. We know the range is going to be the set of possible y values. So we take the points on our graph and we project them onto the y-axis. And we can see that we're getting some positive values. Now remember that because the graph continues going indefinitely, it's going to continue getting larger and larger, and we're going to end up having larger and larger values of y represented. And so if we look at the y-axis to see which points are projected onto, we can see that this includes all of the positives. It does include 0, but it doesn't include any negative numbers because our graph doesn't dip anywhere below the x-axis. That means the range is going to be the set of numbers y such that y is greater than or equal to 0.